All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about the darkest manipulation tactic women use to control you. I have my ideas, I have my theories, what they are. But since she's a woman, let's see what she believes is the darkest manipulation tactic that women use on men. Usually, the darkest manipulation tactic that women use on men, in my opinion, it depends what dark means. But generally speaking, is being inconsistent and just being hard to reach, like trying to catch a butterfly, right? It's close to you, but never close enough for you to grasp it in your arms. There's a bunch of strategies that women use to manipulate men, but usually the most important one is picking the right guy. Picking the guy that has nothing to do in the daytime. Picking a guy that has no life are usually the easiest guys to manipulate. But then if you're a woman, and you are an attractive woman and he's an older guy, older masculine guys react best. Like masculine guys, people who have like men who put an effort to show how masculine they are, those types of guys are usually manipulated by ultra feminine women. Like, so it really does depend. Like what strategy is best depends on the opponent, right? So let's see what she has to say. And don't forget, we're having 60% off all of our courses, and 30% off my one-on-one calls using the coupon code mindful. And this ends at the end of the month. Okay, so let's begin.
Guys, women have very dark manipulation tactics they use to control you, and you're probably not even aware of it. It's always painted that men are so deceptive, lying, and manipulative, not caring about who they hurt along the way.
Exactly.
But women are masters of psychology, and a lot of them use these 6 tactics I'm about to share with you. 1, withdrawal. Women know how to have you worried, blaming yourself, etc., all while they're all smiles watching you wonder what the hell you even did wrong. Guys have almost been programmed to believe that if their lady is keeping to herself, then something must be wrong.
Like happy wife, happy life. Like it's almost like, well, because society, anything that wrong happens, anything wrong that happens between two couples, people are gonna assume the guy did something wrong, right? And man, withdrawing is actually a real thing, and usually they withdraw. The best type of withdrawal is when they withdraw slowly. Those are the ones that are hard to tell, like the slow withdrawal, the type of withdrawal that you wake up one day and you notice that this girl has been a little distant lately. Like, you know, the type that just sneaks up on you, that's the best type. Now, the type where they obviously ignore you, don't get me wrong, that does hurt, but it's kind of obvious, you know, she's starting to lose interest. The ones that hurt the most is when you're 50-50 about it, and then your mind begins to play tricks on you.
Automatically goes into panic mode, and you start thinking if you missed her birthday or anniversary, or if it's something else that you forgot or something that you did wrong. Now the next thing you know, that you're trying to make up for something that you didn't even do to begin with. Women do this to try to keep you on your toes. It's a way to make sure that you don't get too comfortable and start taking her for granted. It's a scare tactic,
which I kind of understand, but for me, when it gets diabolical is when they have no intentions to do anything with you in the future. Like if she's doing that to prevent you from losing interest because she likes you, that's one thing, right? At least you're going to win at the end. But if she's doing that just to mess with you, see, and she has no interest in making this work out, that's when it gets toxic.
To have you constantly thinking about her and start panicking because you feel that you might be losing her. Number 2 is mirroring. Mirroring is when someone copies the characteristics and traits of someone else. This could be through body language. This could be through verbal and physical habits, attitudes, tendencies, etc. I have a separate video on mirroring that goes in further detail, but basically they
Robert Greene calls it entering their spirit, right? Let me see if I could find the first clip of Robert Greene talking about that, but it's actually I was watching my own videos, people. Let me show you, right? Enter their spirit, Robert Greene. And this is the seduction tactic that it is very powerful and it does work.
7. Enter their spirit. One of the great sources of frustration in our lives is other people's stubbornness. How hard it is to reach them, to make them see things our way. We often have the impression that when they seem to be listening to us and apparently agreeing with us, it is all superficial. The moment we are gone, they revert to their own ideas. We spend our lives butting up against people as if they were stone walls. But instead of complaining about how misunderstood or ignored you are, Why not try something different? Instead of seeing other people as spiteful or indifferent, instead of trying to figure out why they act the way they do, look at them through the eyes of the seducer. The way to lure people out of their natural intractability and self-obsession is to enter their spirit.
Because it's almost like when you're not paying attention until somebody says your name or until somebody says something that relates to you. So what he is talking about, there's actually even another art of seduction idea, which is called the ideal lover, where you become the person's ideal lover.
All of us are narcissists. When we were children, our narcissism was physical. We were interested in our own image, our own body, as if it were a separate being. As we grow older, our narcissism grows more psychological. We become absorbed in our own tastes, opinions, experiences. A hard shell forms around us.
And that causes you to think of the same thoughts and also get obsessed with the same people. And it's just like thoughts are just the same, and you never really think outside the box. And when people say think outside the box, it's just saying think outside of your head. Stop thinking about the same thoughts. Entertain new perspectives. And actually, this strategy that she's talking about marrying you, it's actually a creative strategy also. It's kind of funny because mirroring people, even though it's manipulative, it also develops an empathy, and also it develops your creativity, because you get exposed to different perspectives. So it's kind of funny how like a manipulation tactic also is a creative tactic, which kind of, in my opinion, manipulated people are creative. Let's be honest. The reason why they're manipulative is because they have creative ways of controlling people. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
Paradoxically, the way to entice people out of this shell is to become more like them. In fact, a kind of mirror image of them. You do not have to spend days studying their minds. Simply conform to their moods, adapt to their tastes, play along with whatever they send your way. In doing so, you will lower their natural defensiveness. Their sense of self-esteem does not feel threatened by your strangeness or different habits. People truly love themselves, but what they love most of all is to see their ideas and tastes reflected in another person. This validates them. Their habitual insecurity vanishes. Hypnotized by their mirror image, they relax. Now that they're in
It's almost like a Bonnie and Clyde. Or like, let's just say, for example, right? Let's just say you like to eat humans, as an example, right? The relief you're going to find when you find out that the girl that you're going out with has a fantasy of eating humans. Like, just think about that, right? Like, something so taboo. And you're gonna feel like you're bonded with her, right? In the taboo and nature and fucking criminal nature of that too. And that's the same thing. You're giving them that validation that they're not alone, and you're giving them the feeling that they have their own little tribe in between both of yous.
Their wall has crumbled. You can slowly draw them out and eventually turn the dynamic around.
Right. So that's one thing. Let's continue listening.
Evaluate what you need in a relationship so they can pose as a perfect match for you. The problem is that video on mirror physical habits, attitudes, tendencies, etc. I have a separate video on mirroring that goes in further detail, but basically they evaluate what you need in a relationship so they can pose as a perfect match for you. The problem is that it's never truly genuine. It's a tactic they use to bring your guards down in order to easier fulfill whatever agenda they have. Number 3 is guilt. A woman knows that there's
guilt is, and
heavy responsibility on.
Tears is a big one. Tears. A woman will try to make you feel guilty through her tears. Even, I'm sorry that I've banged Tyrone and the whole football team. I didn't mean to do that. Guys, women's "I sorry," in my opinion, are just a load of shit. Like, for real, man. It is. Women's "I'm sorry" is just a load of fucking shit. Don't buy into their stupid sorries.
Men to ensure that their woman is happy and well taken care of. She plays on that to get what she wants, or when she wants to get your emotions under her control. Guilt tripping you almost immediately changes any situation to work in her favor, Do you know how many men know something is off in their relationship? The signs are there that she's being unfaithful, but she throws a tantrum, or she turns on waterworks, or she blames the man for being insecure or controlling. And what does the man do? He starts questioning if he's tripping or if he's thinking too deep about obvious
Yeah, that's pretty much called gaslighting.
signs that he's seeing. Then he's apologizing to her to make her feel better when she knows that he was right all along. Number 4 is the hot and cold method. This is a staple in the manipulation playbook. She showers you with affection and attention, making you feel
Well, I think that's also called what do you call that? Love bombing as well. People, man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I got played. I think oops, she's not here. Let me put her up here. I think I got played because I think I fell for this, in my opinion. And I know I'm the dating coach, but I'm also the human, okay? I think this happened to me. I was dating this girl, and she was still not over her ex. And yeah, I should say that story some other time. But yeah, man, she was still not over her ex. And yeah, man, and long story short, she made me think that she was still friends with him. And apparently he was staying over there because he didn't have a place to live. Long story short, man, we weren't in a relationship. We really weren't. So I was like, look, man, I have no say in this because we're not in a relationship. I don't want you to do that. But anyways, long story short, he got mad that he got mad that she liked me. Anyways, so I was talking to her as our last breakup call, and I told her, I was like, yo, like, if I would have told you, don't let him stay or else I'm leaving you, would you have done it? She was like, no, I would have let him stay. I'm like, pfft. And mind you, the whole time she was apologizing to me for doing that, for putting me through that. She was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you know what, man? And I even told her, I was like, yo, like, you know what you got to do. And she was like, and you know, suck a lot of dick. And she was like, I'm healing. I gotta heal. I can't do that. I'm like, so you told me that you were willing to get hurt with him, but with me, you gotta heal. And I told her, I was like, yo, so you're willing to get dirty and hurt yourself for him, but you're not willing to do that for me. And I'll be honest with you guys, it hurt. You know, and it's kind of like, I know I'm your dating coach, and I just it bothered me, and I had to walk away. And she's telling me that she's not willing to do that, and I'm like, you know what? You put me through more shit, and you're not willing to do that. Then you know what? It is what it is, and I'm just not gonna go back. And after that, I just sat down and meditated, which I'm kind of happy that I did that because I didn't smoke weed. I didn't like go after another girl. I just sat down and meditated. You know, did an hour and just sat down and I'm feeling much better, you know, and I'm happy for that. But, you know, everyone gets played, man. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. I tell you guys, you can't fight the past. You can't beat a girl. You can't win a woman over who's not over her ex. You just can't. And I found myself in that position. And unfortunately, if I would have known, I would have not continued it. But I didn't know. I didn't know she was still in love with him. She just kept telling me that she wasn't in love with him. And it, you know, and then she was feeling sad about it, doing this shit. And I'm like, how are you sorry? And yet you're not willing to make it up to me. Like, go. And I'm like, yeah, it's guys, it is what it is, man. And that's me, man. That happened to me. So if you guys are going through something like that, don't feel bad, man. Like, just make sure that you cope with it the right way and practice meditation and don't resolve to trying to get another girl to make you feel better. Go fix the root issue and observe your suffering and observe your desire. Desire and aversion is pretty much why we suffer. I just had to let it out, guys. I like you guys, so I had to let it out.
Comfortable and attached to her. Then she catches you off guard with the disappearing act. Goes.
Oh yeah, and this girl would block me because she said her ex, which she was staying with, was taking her phone from her and blocking me. Guys, it's like, you know, it's kind of like, you know what's funny? I had a feeling that something was off, and like she said, you could feel it. But again, I got fooled by the chemistry, man.
Conversation seemed dry. Her demeanor starts to give off very much cold shoulder vibes. That's when those answers start sounding like this. I'm fine. Okay, nothing. Yeah, I'm busy. Talk to you later. You don't realize it, but she's getting you hooked. Now you're sitting there like an addict, messaging, asking what's wrong. You want to see her buying gifts to try to fix whatever you think is happening in an effort to get her attention and affection again. Number 5, the power of suggestion. This is a very covert trap. Have you ever been with a woman and she conveniently sticks into the conversation about this shoe that she saw or this dress that she saw online and loved? Or if y'all are together and she sees something that she likes and she says things like, I would love it if a man did something like that for me. Or I've never had a man buy me anything like that.
Or like, must be nice to get married.
What she's doing is subconsciously putting actions into your head. She's not directly telling you to buy it or do certain things for her, while at the same time influencing you to want to do these things for her. Number 6 is love bombing. Now, this is probably one of the most strategic and darkest ones. It comes in waves, a process
That's pretty much what happened to me. I pretty much got love bombed. And mind you, now this is the thing, okay, is that I am truly happy that I practice meditation. Because when you practice meditation, you're able to detach yourself from attachment and have a clean break. You know when you break your ankle and it's a clean break, right? Like you just have a clean break. It hurts, but it's a clean break. Like even now, I'm sad, but there's a peace that's underneath that sadness, right? There's depth to it. The only thing that's sad is the surface. Underneath, there's a depthness of peace that you gain that through meditation. And unfortunately, if this would have had to happen to me last year, not last year, a few years ago, I would have been a complete mess. My eyes would have been red because I smoked too much weed, But the way I saw it was that, there's no shame in getting played people. Like Jordan got crossed over by Allen Iverson. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Everyone gets it eventually. It just you can't have no shame in getting played, but just don't repeat it or else you're looking like a dumbass.
Sucks you in and controls you just the way she likes it. It involves hyping you up, compliments, affection, the whole 9. She's going to make you feel like you're the perfect match, like you're special. They shower you with all this love and attention in an attempt to influence you. This is how love bombing looks. Day 1, you're so handsome. Day 2, oh my God, we have so much in common. Day 3, I don't usually fall for someone this fast. Day 4, I just feel like we're meant to be together. Day 5, I love you. By the end of this process, you're falling hard, and she's got you exactly where she wants you, fully invested in her and extremely vulnerable. Be extreme.
The way that you counter love bombing is to slow it down. Just slowing it down, and having the emotional strength to say, hey, psycho, calm the fuck down. You don't know me yet. You don't know who I am for you to love me this much. Not even my mama loved me this quick, And when you do that, look at their face. Look at their reaction. If they're really manipulating you, you're going to notice it's a anger in their face. But if they're really doing it with love, well, actually, it's really not. Just look for the anger sign. Everything else, she looks sad, who gives a fuck? But the angry side is a sign that it really doesn't come from a real place. Now, if they look sad, you don't know how she reacts, but all I know is that if she gets angry, that's usually her trying to control you and not working, because anger is a sign that you're trying to control something and it's not working. So the anger comes out of frustration.
Be careful out here, guys. There's a lot of women out to do you dirty and manipulate you for personal gain because they believe that's all men are good for anyway. When you spot these manipulation tactics, call them out on it. Better yet, leave. Because
I thought you were saying call me.
No good comes from a woman who practices these tactics. So until the next video, I'll see you guys there. Bye.
Yeah, man. And look, guys, it's, I believe karma is a bitch. Maybe I'm receiving my karma. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with it.
Welcome. Today I'm talking about
I'm fine with it if it's karma, but because again, your coping mechanism is what matters. How you cope with it is what matters. It's not what happens to you, but it's how you cope with life. And I believe that the meditation retreat gave me a power that no woman can take away from me, And it's beautiful because the more sad I feel, the more I meditate, because that's how I feel better, through meditation. Like I've conditioned myself to feel good through meditation. I'm not smoking weed no more. I'm gonna smoke weed later on, right? But I just didn't want to smoke when I felt really sad. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, guys, keep your head up if you guys are going through something. Understand that the New Year's is when a lot of relationships end. So don't worry about it. Just like me, it feels like You know, you lost somebody good, but, you know, life always proves you wrong. Never forget that. There's no shame in getting played. There's no shame in getting manipulated. You're only human. If you know what I'm saying? It's totally fine. Just be nice to yourself. Don't harbor any hatred towards a person, and forgive people, but don't forget. All right? All right. Anyways, be safe, and thank you for listening. If you heard all the way through, people, I think that was me being vulnerable with you guys. And if you're going through something like that, at least feel happy that I'm going through it.